Good afternoon, chaps. Hope that you're doing great today. Welcome back to the channel. My name is, as you know, martinpavey. Got an interesting video for you today, but before I go on with that, please do like and subscribe and share to spread this very important message. So, we're going to be talking about the nobility of no. I actually tried to record a video earlier on today, but I swear to God, there's something really weird going on with the weather at the moment, because it's just stormy and crazy, and maybe I've been in London too long, I really don't know. But I've just been watching a fantastic podcast, and it's really brought to my attention just how important it is to say no to things that don't fit in with your paradigm, because everybody wants to take a side. They want to take a side on a particular stance. They want to take a particular political opinion or cultural opinion, and everybody wants you to believe what they believe, and they want you to act accordingly. But no is the most powerful word in the English language, and it's no and nine, and I don't know what it is in Italian, and ni in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the magical knights who say ni. Eki fadang. No. But it's so powerful because it reveals to you who people actually really are, which can sometimes, I've experienced it, can sometimes be it can be a really frightening thing. It really can. But the power of no is you actually asserting what you want from your life, and just as importantly, what you don't want. And what you realize about most people's thinking and their behavior as a consequence is they can't remove themselves from this idea of either or both. They can't do it. It has to be one side or the other, and there's no room for nuance in that. There's no room for, well, actually, I don't agree with any of you. This is how I see things. Nobody's willing to actually discuss this. Nobody's willing to to drop all of their bullshit and say, well, actually, yeah, these options I'm being presented with, maybe they're all bullshit, which is normally the case. But people don't want to genuinely stand out on their own and say, actually, excuse me, hello, voice of reason, all of this is bollocks. I don't have to believe anything that you're believing, because you can believe whatever you want. You can believe that there are demonic voices speaking to you from the television. Maybe there are. I don't know. You can believe that, but it doesn't necessarily make it true. And most people really do not care about truthfulness. They just want you to believe wholesale what they believe. There's no other room for nuance or for alternative points of view. There really isn't. And this particular podcast that I'm watching is of somebody who has his own channel, who's being effectively interviewed by somebody else. And he wants to be on the side of truth. But what people say and what people think matters not one jot What matters is people's behavior. And even with this guy, who I love, I love him. I love him. I love the work that he does. I love how out there he is. And I agree with 99% of his shtick. I really do. But I'm always... Maybe I'm hypersensitive to this because I've observed so many people lying. I think I'm actually a really far out there case of... I have a really acute bullshitometer. I have a really high threshold of knowingness. If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense, but I think you get what I mean. Hardly anything gets past me. It really doesn't. I have an acute sensor for bullshit. And I also, on the positive side, I have it's positive to be able to, to detect bullshit, but I also have a really high awareness of the truth. I feel it. I feel it in my body. I really do. I have a visceral reaction to lies, and I have an absolutely innate, and I don't know where it comes from, but I've always had an incredibly acute awareness of what's true, and I can detect it really quickly, really easily. And my mistake has not been ignorance. My mistake has actually been ignoring that intuition. But even as I say, with this guy that I watch and love and admire and really rate, he's really sound. But when people disagree with him, he gets really angry. He just desperately wants people to buy into his worldview. It's his massive Achilles heel. Really is. And what no does is it's a pattern interrupt. What no does is allows you to, stop. What's real? What's false? Do I believe this? What's my opinion on this? Can I rationalize this position? It's time to think. No is time to think, and it's time to connect with yourself. That's what no is. No is the opportunity to actually establish truth, to test the boundaries, to examine what people are saying, form an opinion, and look to different experiences, to wisdom that you've already gained, and say, do I believe this? Is this credible? Who's it coming from? Is this a reliable source? Does this fit with sort of the universality of how other people behave? Does it fit? And it's actually not that long a process to establish this. But most people ignore their intuition, or, I'm afraid, I'm sorry to say it, but maybe they're just too stupid. And a lot of people are. A lot of people are just too stupid, or too selfish, or too ignorant, or too pig-headed, stubborn, to really question this. But no is an opportunity to establish truth. That's what no actually is. It's not being mean. It's not being angry. It's not being aggressive. What no is okay, right? Presented with information. Do I believe this? Stop. No, a pattern interrupt. No is a stop. I am going to decide for myself if this is true. That's really powerful. And most people don't do it because they don't want to stand on their own. But if you're watching this video, I know that you want the truth. However painful it is, and sometimes it's really painful, because sometimes you'll have believed a particular thing for maybe your whole life or for a significant period of time, and you'll have to do stop, not just on the information you're receiving from somebody else. You'll have to do a stop on yourself. Oh, fuck. I was misled. I tried to please people. I was wrong about that. And that, my friend, is fucking humbling. And it's agonizing sometimes in the beginning. But we can only know what we know to that point. And we believed something from a particular point at the genesis, the origin of that belief. And we only knew what we knew at that time. See? We only knew what we knew at that time. And hindsight is, people think it's this wonderful thing. No. You only knew what you knew at a particular point, and you only know what you know right now. So don't blame yourself for not knowing things. Don't blame yourself for not being who you are now back then. Don't retrospect. You knew what you knew at that point, and you made a decision. And now you have more information, and you have a fuller view of the terrain, of the landscape that you're actually in now. So don't blame yourself for not knowing now what you didn't know back then. Don't do it. Don't do it. No is just an opportunity to be in the present moment, to know what you know now, and to make your life as brilliant as you possibly can. That's what you need to do. That's the only thing that you need to do. Regrets are pointless. All regret is people believing that they can change the past. That's all that regret is. Nothing else. You knew what you knew back then, and now you know different stuff. Boom. Zero guilt. Be kind to yourself. Thank you very much. Learn to say no. Learn to interrupt all of the noise and say, I am going to decide what I believe about this. And I'm going to make my life fabulous because of it. God bless you. Please do like, subscribe and share to spread this very important message, and leave me any comments you wish below and any ideas that you would like to hear for future videos, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao for now.